The mammoth was not supposed to be alive. That is the first thing you must understand. The ice had already swallowed its kind. The elders said the last herds vanished beyond the white horizon before I grew my first beard. The shamans said the earth grew tired of giants. I said nothing because arguing with a man who talks to bones is a poor survival strategy. And yet here it stands. 3 spear lengths taller than any I've seen. One tusk shattered and regrown like a crooked moon. Frost clinging to its fur like it refuses to accept the season has changed. It exhales steam so thick it looks like the land itself is sighing. My brother is frozen beside me, not from cold, but from disbelief. We were hunting caribou. Instead, we found a ghost. The wind shifts. The mammoth lifts its head. It smells us. If you've never been hunted by something the size of a moving hill, I recommend against it. I tighten my grip on the atlatl. The sinew binding hums in the wind. My fingers ache, but not from fear. From memory, because I have done this before. Not with this beast, not with a survivor, but with the world. The ice was already retreating when I was born. Not dramatically, not with thunder. Ice does not leave with a shout. It leaves like an old relative, slowly, stubbornly, muttering complaints. Our tent was made of stitched sealskin stretched over driftwood ribs. When the wind howled, it sounded like spirits arguing over rent. My mother used to say the land was thinning. The hunting grounds shifted north each year. The rivers opened earlier. The seals changed migration patterns. The elders pretended this was normal. Elders are excellent at pretending. We were not yet called Inuit. That word would come much later. We were simply people trying not to starve.
What do you make of
I
this?
learned to walk on packed snow.
No spear marks.
I learned to
Died of
chew
old
frozen
age
marrow
or the cold.
before I learned to chew dried berries. Childhood games where don't fall into that crevasse and spot the wolf before it spots you. We did not have toys. We had weather, and then there were the stories, the giant ones, the mammoth hunts. My grandfather swore he had seen herds darken the horizon. Said the ground shook for hours before they appeared. Said you could feel their approach in your ribs. I thought he exaggerated. Old men do that. It's how they survive being old. But he showed me something no one else had: mammoth ivory carved with tally marks. Not decoration. Records. Each mark a hunt. Each hunt a winter survived. He told me, we do not kill giants. We borrow warmth from them. That is a beautiful way to describe dismantling an animal larger than your entire family. The truth is uglier. Mammoth hunts were mathematics. You calculated wind direction, herd behavior, terrain traps. You drove them toward boggy ground or cliff edges. You used coordinated spear waves to bleed them slowly. It was not heroic. It was patient. Also, if you tripped, you died. Quickly, I trained with smaller game first. Caribou, musk ox. Once, disastrously, a very irritated polar bear. Pro tip: do not poke the walking snow demon unless you have a plan B. I did not. The atlatl became an extension of my arm. The spear point napped flint hafted with sinew could pierce hide if thrown with the right angle and force. We used microblades for cutting, bone needles for stitching, driftwood frames for sleds. Everything had purpose. Nothing was wasted. Waste was death. By the time I was 15, winters old, the giants were already rare. Climate was shifting fast in ways we did not understand, but absolutely felt. Forest crept north. Tundra shrank. The grazing lands thinned. Mammoths require enormous food. The earth was reducing the buffet. Some say we hunted them to extinction. Some say the warming did it. Some say both. I say hunger doesn't debate ethics. The last confirmed herd we tracked vanished beyond a valley where meltwater swallowed the plains. We found bones months later. No kill marks. No spear fractures. Just collapse. The shamans said the mammoths chose to lie down. That is not how biology works, but it helped people sleep. Years passed. Our focus shifted to seals, fish, migratory herds. We adapted. Humans are exceptional at refusing to die. It is our most impressive feature. And then today. Tracks the size of shallow graves pressed into thawing earth. fresh dung, still steaming, hair snagged on low willow branches. My brother whispered impossible, said so is surviving every winter. Yet here we are. We followed the tracks for half a day. The terrain narrowed into a basin surrounded by ice-carved ridges. Good funneling ground. It's too good. That is when we saw it. Alone. Older than any I'd imagined. Scars across its flank. One eye clouded. Tusks worn but lethal. This was no herd beast. This was a relic. And relics are dangerous. A lone mammoth does not behave like a herd member. It does not panic the same way. It does not follow predictable escape patterns. It has survived by being unpredictable, which brings us back to now. It has seen us. It trumpets not the full chorus of a herd, but a raw, furious blast that vibrates through my teeth. Snow falls from a ridge behind it. Birds erupt from hiding. My brother mutters a prayer. I calculate wind. Downhill slope. Bog patches to the east. Loose scree to the west. We did not plan this hunt, which means the mammoth has the advantage. It takes a step forward. The ground answers. You would think I feel fear. I feel something else. Opportunity. Because if this is truly one of the last giants, then this hunt is not just about meat. It is about memory. About proving that the stories were not exaggerations told to scare children into obedience. It charges. And for the first time in my life, I understand what my grandfather meant when he said you feel them in your ribs. The world narrows to distance, angle, breath. I raise the atlatl. If I miss, I die. If I hit poorly, my brother dies. If we succeed, our people eat for months. Also, I will finally win an argument with a shaman, which is admittedly secondary, but satisfying. The mammoth closes the distance faster than logic allows. I step sideways, planting my foot in thawing ground that may or may not hold. This is where giants end, or where men do, and you still do not know which this will be. The spear does not kill him. That is the truth people never sing about. It bites deep behind the foreleg, exactly where I aim between rib and muscle, where breath lives. But giants do not fall from one wound. They fall from time. He barrels past me, close enough that his fur lashes my face. My brother's spear strikes next, then another. We move like we were taught, never in front, always to the flank, bleed, withdraw, bleed again. Minutes stretch into an eternity measured in heartbeats. The mammoth slows, not from weakness alone, but from age, from winters endured, from a world that has already decided his kind is finished. When he finally collapses, the ground answers one last time. We do not cheer. We approach carefully. I place my hand against his cooling hide. It feels like touching history. This was not victory. It was inheritance. We cut meat until our arms tremble. We harvest fat, sinew, bone. We take everything. We leave nothing but gratitude and tracks in thawing earth. By next winter, the ice will retreat farther. By my son's lifetime, the giants may be only carvings in ivory. People will argue about why they vanished. Climate, humans, fate. I only know this. At the edge of the Ice Age, survival was not glory. It was adaptation, and we were better at it than the giants.